Growing your audience on social media. That is today's topic. If you are looking to grow, expand your reach, grow your audience, reach more people, be seen by more people on social media, that's what we're going to dive into today. If you're here in the chat, in the comments area, let me know by letting me know your name, let me know where you're watching from. Always great to see you guys return and hang out with me every single Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This live stream is brought to you by Melon. If you guys have not heard of Melon, they are an awesome live streaming application, web-based application that you can use to go live from your computer from anywhere in the world. So we are using Melon for every single live stream we do here on Mondays. So you can check them out at melonapp.live. So that's melonapp.live. If you're on YouTube, I have it pinned to the post. And then if you're on Facebook, you'll see it in the description section. So make sure that you check them out at melonapp.live. And I get a little credit too for letting them know that I sent you over there. They have an awesome Facebook community as well. So if you have not, if you are a user of Melon, but you have not jumped into their Facebook community, I highly encourage you to do that as well, because it's a place where you can get a lot of your questions answered in real time, because there's support, there's admins back there as well. So definitely check them out. If you have anything you want to try to figure out with the platform, with the software, but I think you guys will have a very easy time using it because it's a pretty simple platform. It's web-based. That means you don't have to do any fancy installations of software. You don't have to do learning all kinds of new gizmos and gadgets to make it work. It's all just inside of the platform. So definitely check them out at melonapp.live. So tonight's conversation, we're going to be talking about how to grow your audience and social media following with live video. Now, I'm a big fan of live video because one of the benefits is you don't have to spend a lot of time editing, if any. You literally can do all of it in real time. So some people might find that as a drawback that you can't edit, but I think it's a good thing, especially if you're looking to produce more content faster. So being able to go live is one of those things where if you haven't done it before, it's going to take some practice. You're going to have to get some reps. You're going to have to get used to all the things that go along with it. Some of the issues that you may face that may arise when you go live are different from when you can just sit behind a camera, hit the record button, and then go back and edit later. So there are some differences there. So you do have to get some practice under your belt when you get ready to go live. But that's what we have test environments for. That's why things such as YouTube unlisted videos, they're great because no one gets to see your videos. You can just go live and just do unlisted and nobody has to see all the mess ups, all the mistakes. But eventually you're going to want to start to go live. So when you go live, then you want to make sure that you've got all your ducks in a row. Okay. So last week we talked about being able to go live or the steps rather to go live. So you want to make sure that we had our internet checked, right? We want to make sure that restart our systems. We wanted to make sure that we know how to use our systems, our softwares, right? So we're using Melon. So I want to make sure that I know how to use the Melon software to go live. So all of these things we want to make sure that we test beforehand. We want to do a clean restart if you can. If you remember, we do that clean restart. Now, I know I've done a couple restarts because we actually had some power issues today here in Virginia. At least I won't even say in Virginia. I'll say just on my side of town. So my whole system has rebooted 3 times. So I know I have a fresh restart going on here before I came live today. So hopefully power doesn't go out again for the 4th time today. Otherwise, we'll have a big issue. But being able to knock out all of those things initially helps you get to that going live stage. Okay. So I think I have my guest here. We're going to see. Typically, I like to test out all this stuff. So we're going to see if this works. So Melody, I'm going to attempt to bring you on screen and I'm going to hope everything is good with your volumes and all that good stuff. So Melody.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you? I can hear
I'm
you.
doing great.
thing. That's a good thing. I'm glad you were able to make it here and be my special guest tonight here on our live stream, our weekly live stream here. Uh, so, for those of you who all have not met Melody Johnson, I'm going to let her introduce herself real quick, and we're going to get into the topic of growing your audience and social media with live video. So, Melody, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Oh, well, guys, thanks for having me on, Monte. My name is Melody Johnson. I'm the CEO and founder of a reading intervention company called Loving Literacy, but I'm also an Amazon Live influencer. So you'll know me by Loving Literacy once you go on that platform. And I also have another company. It's called Go Live Now Media, and that is where we help people to be able to grow their audience, and we help them to be able to live stream, just like we're doing now.
Awesome, awesome. So let's get into this. I love how Melon like re-switched it on me. It always does that. I have to lock it in place because I get used to looking at myself on one side and then it switches to the other side. So one of the ways we met Melody, I think it was through YouTube. Did you find me on YouTube?
Yes, I sure did.
Yeah.
I was trying to learn how to grow my YouTube audience and how to start a YouTube channel, and I came across your particular YouTube video, and I said, this guy Monte, I was like, he knows exactly what he's talking about. I was like, I got to find out more about him. And I just happened to look you up on Facebook, and I seen that you had a ton of content. So I said, I got to connect with him.
Okay, awesome. See, I didn't know the whole story, so that's awesome to know that the content actually works, right? When you put it in the right place, you put your information on the right platform, and then the right people that need it find it, and then that whole customer journey starts. So, so Melody, before you connected with me, were you going live? Because I want to know what got you into going on live video. So you weren't going live before you connected with me. Okay.
No, actually, I was in a totally different field. I was a special education teacher, and before I left that field, I was doing things in person. I was doing everything in person, and it got to the point where I needed to be able to join virtually and connect with students and parents virtually. And so that's when I realized I had to start doing more video and more streaming. And I couldn't find the right tools or the right people to help me to start off, because it was either too techy and I just couldn't grasp some of the verbiage, or I didn't have any of the equipment needed, and I didn't know where to start with that as a beginner.
Yeah, those are pretty much the main hurdles for everybody that tries to get into it. Is like, where do I start? What do I need? And someone that teaches this and shows people all the time, sometimes I forget the fact that like all they need is just to figure out the beginning steps of like, and so we can kind of get some momentum going forward to going live. So fast forward, we get our equipment, you get what you need, and then you go live. So you go live to this platform called Amazon, if I'm not mistaken. It's your first time going live, which is crazy now that I'm thinking about it, because most people go live on like Facebook first, or YouTube, or like any other Instagram live, some other platform. But you went live first on Amazon Live, which is even more crazy when I tell this story to other people now, because I'm going to say, one of my clients, she went live for the first time and got a brand deal after her very first time going live on any social platform. So now I got a whole new story. But so going live on Amazon, wow, that's the first time.
That was scary.
Tell me about the experience of just going live for you.
So I didn't even know what it would look like, even though we had the Amazon Creators app. But just to back up, I had to apply for the program, the Amazon Influencers program. And when I did it, I didn't initially know what it really was. I just know that Amazon was hiring for something, and I was like, let me go and apply. And so when you told me about this program, I went ahead and I applied anyway, and I got approved again because I applied twice. So when I downloaded the app, I got approval. It said I could go live. I just started with the things that I knew, and I just added them to what's called a carousel, which is where you put your products. And I just started talking to people like the way I'm talking to you. And at first it was really, really scary. And it was scary because I had no idea what I was doing, but I knew that if I kept doing it, eventually I could be able to make my little tweaks here and there to really make sure I knew what I was doing and to be able to share my experiences with others that wanted to do it as well.
Yeah, so that's wild because so you go live for your first time and you go live to a platform where nobody knows you. I mean, nobody knows you because one, that platform, Amazon Live is a new platform, and other people that start this process of going live, they go live on platforms where at least they have some friends that can kind of jump on there and say, hey, and you kind of know who you're talking to in the chat. So I can see Cyrus is here on YouTube. Leondo is here on YouTube. So I can kind of see who I'm talking to and like I can
Yes.
reference something, right, to kind of to get through the show, you know. But for you, you started with no friends, no family that could just come on there and support you. So it's like it's a whole bunch of strangers on your live stream, and yet you still have to go live and deal with the hurdles of just going live in general and the fear. And now you're talking to a whole bunch of strangers on this brand new platform. So you just threw all the elements onto one thing. So if anybody can do it, if or you can do it, then anybody can do it, right? Because you experienced
Yes.
everything with it. So that's pretty amazing. So let's fast forward a little bit. So we've been going live. So you've been going live for about a year now?
Yes, I'm actually going to be hitting my 300th episode very soon. 300
300,
episodes.
yeah, in 1 year. So
Yeah.
I would venture to say your comfort level has increased.
Oh yeah, there's no discomfort at all. Every once in a while, what'll pop up, what'll seem a little odd is if no one's like putting anything in the chat. That's when it'll seem strange. But I'll still keep talking. I'll figure out a way to
Mm-hmm.
get people to chat, and that's part of what we were talking about with just being able to grasp the attention of the audience and how to grow your audience. And it's simply, you've got to be able to show up. You got
Yeah.
to show up. Even if you're freaking scared, you still got to show up. And they will appreciate you. In fact, they like seeing those raw emotions. And I remember when I was streaming for the first time, I was like, I'm sorry, guys. This is like my first live. I'm not really sure if you could see what I'm doing. I was creating a catapult. I was actually building a catapult for kids on there. And I had no idea that you had to like really look at the product before actually streaming sometimes. For this part, I should have looked at it because I had to let it dry like 24 hours. But I was still able to build it out. And the audience loved it. And they said, I hope you're coming back tomorrow. And I was like, I hope I am too. And then I was like, I'm just going to come back.
So with 300 live streams under your belt, when do you think 300 live streams and doing this for a year, when do you think you kind of got from being uncomfortable to a place of comfort where when you hit go live, it wasn't something that you were overly thinking about what could go wrong, what could go right, what if I mess up? What was kind of like that time period for you, if you have a time period like that?
No, there were times I did have that experience, especially if I ran out of content. And what I mean by running out of content is when you have an audience that sometimes just prefers to watch you instead of engaging, that's when you can be like, oh my gosh, this can be so challenging. So I started doing little things like just asking questions to my audience, asking them, where are you from? Or just asking them, what's your favorite dessert? Or the hot topic, funny thing would be Halloween. What is your favorite candy? Do you like candy corn or, Reese's peanut butter cups? And the audience would go crazy and you'd see all this typing going on. And I said, wait a minute, I finally got something. I'm like, I got them to respond by just asking a simple question. So I started generating more simple questions and I started noticing the engagement was going up. People really wanted to connect with me and learn, who was I? What is it that I did? And what was my brand about? What was Loving Literacy about? And I took them on that journey. I would tell them how I started. I would tell them, if you want to start doing this, I can teach you how to do it. And I've had people reach out to me on social media. I still keep in touch with them. And I've been pretty much streaming ever since. Yeah, but I've had those moments where I get scared and I think to myself, why did I start?
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat. Cyrus on Facebook or Cyrus on YouTube says Melody is great about referencing her audience. So, and that's key when you're live because there are actually people watching, right? So you
Yeah.
want to have these people actually watch you and like have some type of conversation or engagement, especially when your audience numbers are low. And I know sometimes when people get started on live streaming, they're disappointed that they have a low amount of viewership where you can embrace that because there is a low amount of viewership and you can literally see everyone's name. So I can see Steven, I can see Deidre, I can see Veronica, Lucia, I can see all these people watching right now and call them out by name and let them
Yes,
know that I see them. And so embracing the small audience is something that you all that are starting out on this live streaming journey can embrace because these people are going to they're going to show up for you, especially when you have your super fans and you see the same people that come back all the time. You definitely want to
yes,
engage with them because if you don't, then they're going to go away and then you're going to go back to start with zero all over again. So um,
exactly.
I love it. I love it.
Even
Let me,
if you have one fan that's just coming back to talk to you, as long as you're showing up, that person is going to bring more people. When we started off with the Loving Literacy channel, I started off with 2 people, everybody. And I was like, oh, somebody's following me. I didn't even know like you could do that on this platform. But now we're getting close to 900. And
nice.
I wasn't doing it as consistently before, but now I am. I stream pretty much every single day. And with the 2 people that would show up, the 1 or 2 people, they would bring a friend. They would tell a friend, hey, come to this stream. And then what started happening was more and more people started to come. And that's when I started to learn more about what my audience likes and simply asking them. Just
Yeah.
ask questions.
Yeah. Shout out to all of you guys that are joining. I see all of you guys jumping in here. Lucia said, I was just thinking about you, Monte, and telling someone how I learned so much about live streaming from you. Awesome. Yes. Awesome. Awesome. Speaking of live streaming, it's a good segue right into my sponsor, MelonApp. Shout out to Melon. They make this happen every single week. So if you guys haven't checked out their software to start going live, to get through the hurdles, the mental hurdles more so than anything of going live, you check them out, melonapp.live. Um, so you start to go live. You've done a 300 episodes. You're on a brand new platform trying to figure it out. What have you seen that has allowed you to continue going live? Because some people start and they stop. They'll get to a point where they just don't want to do it anymore for whatever that reason is. But like for me, what Lucia said is kind of my reason that I keep doing it is because people get value out of the information. And I know for a while, I didn't feel people were getting value out the information because people wouldn't show up. And I was like, man, I thought I'm teaching all this information really, really well. I thought people were getting value, but nobody would buy anything. Nobody would show up for the live streams. And so for a while, I just stopped doing lives. I just switched over and started recording some videos and just working on some other things. What has kept you going strong? Because 300 episodes in a calendar year, you average more than one a day. So what has kept you motivated to keep going?
I love connecting with the people. I really love connecting with the people. And it's funny because you develop this really close relationship with the people that come to the streams because sometimes they'll ask you not just about products. Sometimes they'll ask you personal questions like, well, how do I start something like a good habit? Or, you start learning about their families and where they come from and some of the struggles that they might have. And I started realizing this isn't just about shopping and entertainment. This is about making a human connection with someone and being able to help them with a problem that they have, not just related to shopping, but related to just making a connection, showing them that we care and that we are real and that we know they're real too. So that's why I started doing that with the lives, just showing up every single day. And then I started realizing it's something I really like. because I can change. I have a lot of creative, I have control over that, the creative component. If I want to stream about books just all day today or this week, I can do that. If I want to just talk about toys, I can do that. If I want to talk about video games and talk about the board that I passed that no one else could pass, I will do that. It's being able to have that creative control, which is really awesome. And I find that this platform has just begun. It's still growing. It's still very new. Not a lot of people know about it. I've even talked to sellers that have said they've been on the platform for 10 years and they are just learning about Amazon Live. And I'm like, where have you been? I'm like, let me show you. Let me help you.
Yeah, they need to know their platforms a little bit better. Live production tips and tools. Good to see you. Says, hey, Monte, good to see you guys. Thank you for always delivering value. Let me know, guys, in the chat and the comments, which platforms you guys go live to. What's your favorite platform, or which platform do you want to go live to? Be interested to kind of see and kind of pull the audience to see where you guys are at on that. There's so many different applications to go live. And one of the things you mentioned is being able to connect with your audience. And I know, for anyone that's in business, you really need to know your audience. You need to understand who they are, their likes, their dislikes, their wants, their needs, all that good stuff. And so I'm encouraging you guys to make sure you really engage with your audience, because they give you a lot of information that you need to go forward. So I know for me, Melody, one of the things people say is like, Monte, you're good at breaking it down so I can understand it. And so I just kind of ran with that. It's like, let me just make these videos easy, understandable. Let me show them what I might take for granted or overlook on how to connect something. Like, this connection goes to this connection, and like visually show it. What's kind of been like that main thing for you that you've received from your audience, like over and over and over again, that allows you to know that, okay, this is just what they want consistently from me. So in some form or fashion, I'm going to, make sure that I deliver that when I'm on live video.
Making sure that I'm in a particular niche. And the reason why I'm saying that is because my audience goes for either one of two things. Either they want to see me play a video game or some sort of game, or they want to see me do a craft. And this is something new that they just started like requesting for. Like, I want to say, been in the last month, they'll come up and they'll show up every Saturday when I'm doing these crafts. And they're like, yeah, I want to see more of these. I'm like, what kind do you want to see? They're like, here, get this one. And then they're sending me links. And then I'm like, okay, well, if you buy it, I'll buy this, and then we can do it together. So it's kind of like creating my own, I don't know, I guess you'd say like a hobby group. Mm-hmm. and they love it.
Yeah, there's so many different ways you can utilize and maximize live. I had my guy on here, George Howard, a couple weeks ago, and he was really a person that got me started on showing up on coming on live. And I don't think we got to it in his video when he was here, but he used to have these interactive games that would show before his live stream would even start. Like, that was his thing. You knew when you got on George's live stream, you would be playing. It was almost like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Had a question, had 4 answers, and you would literally put in the chat A, B, C, or D, and it would drive the engagement of his audience. And people loved playing the game before he even came on live. I watched one guy, he would play Connect 4, like, and so it's kind of crazy because me and you, we both stream on Amazon Live. And this is before the ability for influencers to stream on Amazon. So he was doing this on other platforms, and he would literally ask a question. And if someone got the question right, he would ask them, do you want red or black, depending on which color was up next? And he would say, where do you want me to put the piece? And if that last person was the person to do the Connect 4, he would give them a prize. So people would come on his stream because they love playing games with him. And so, the growing an audience, not only allows you to learn more about them, they learn more about you. And then eventually, at some point in all of this, Melody, we're going to monetize. So let's talk about making some money and monetizing, because if we grow our audience, that's one thing, but we don't have time all day just to sit here and just grow audiences. We need to we need some type of monetization, whether that's directly from the people that are viewing us, or even like in this case, sponsorships. So, Melon is, providing that compensation to show up and provide value. So, what does it look like for you when it comes into growing an audience, but also being able to monetize you showing up on live video?
So what will happen is while I'm doing these engaging streams and people are asking about the products and we're having fun, we usually do like trivia on Tuesdays. I'll have sponsors that'll watch me during these Amazon Live streams. And they will reach out to me even during the middle of the stream. How can I contact you? And I'll give them my email address, or I'll give them my Instagram account where they can send me a message. And then from that point on, I'll connect with them via email, and that's when the sponsorship negotiations begin. And it happened even from the very first day when I started streaming. I would get a ton of responses, not just through email. Sometimes I was trying to figure out how they found my email, but they were really good at it. Or they would contact me through Instagram or any of my social media accounts. And before you know it, I was getting like three sponsorships a week. And it could have ranged anywhere at that time from $50 to $250. And if you keep getting that consistently on a weekly basis, that kind of adds up. Now, when I first started off, I thought the $50 was cool. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, they chose me. I'm like so psyched. I'm so pumped. But then I started realizing during this journey my value and how much I was really representing the brands and how much I was supporting them and how much time and effort I was pouring into it. And that's when I started having to reevaluate how I needed to line item every single thing I do, because I needed to know how to delegate my time. And I needed to know where my money was coming from so I could pay bills, because I wasn't a teacher anymore. I wasn't getting that consistent, paycheck. So I had to figure out how else can I monetize? How else can I support brands and companies? And simply from doing the Amazon Lives is how I've been making my living.
Yeah,
and I've branched out into doing other things. Like, that's the wild thing. I never would have thought that I would be a creator. I always thought I would just be a writer, because that's what I used to do also. I used to write curriculum for schools. I would write curriculum for, it was a children's app company that I also did. But it started branching off into other things. And then that's how I was able to monetize. Yeah. Not just from the sponsorships, but other things as well.
Yeah, so there's a progression, there's a progress bar, if you will, of going through this. So it's showing up on live video, it's giving value, it's giving entertainment, whatever that industry is. It's going to look a little bit different for everybody, but it's showing up and giving essentially the viewers what they want first, and then they get behind you, they rally behind you, and then you can either monetize by, hey, taking this, let's go and do this together in a private setting, or let me get this sponsor to help get behind the cause of the organization or what we're doing. And, it's a full progression that you go through, because if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur using video, the reason you're using video is to get more awareness, to get more attention, to generate more sales. And at some point you got to get all of these steps. But I think how you started is the best way to start. You showed up, you learned your audience first, rather than just going out and, hey, go buy this product, versus, oh, you guys like crafts. Okay, let's understand which crafts you like. And then I can go and reach the craft companies and say, hey, this would be great for my audience because this is what they're asking for. Like, I'm not thinking about this. This is what they're saying. I can even show you and prove to you this is what they want to see more of. And so it's a lot easier to garner these relationships with companies to help support your cause and your mission if you have shown up and already been going live for like a year and you got 300 episodes under your belt. So it makes it a lot easier to have that relationship with them. So I'm super proud of you for like the journey, because like you guys don't know, like we did not talk before this interview, and even Melody, you're in my mastermind and I didn't even know the whole story. Like, you just got started and you've been able to not only to grow an audience, but also work with brands and sponsors all under a calendar year. And that's
Yes.
just amazing to me, that how fast things are able to happen for people that are brand new to the space. Like, it's not like you had years under your belt of live streaming and then you kind of turned that into something more. Like, you were just live streaming and it just kind of happened, and you've been able to grow from there. So that's amazing.
Thank you,
Oh,
Monty. I appreciate that. And you've been an awesome mentor as well, and I'm just so grateful to be able to have had that opportunity. Um, yeah, very, really grateful. Thank you.
no, no problem. It's amazing what these social platforms allow for, because it was creating a YouTube video, right? So my journey was, okay, I'm just going to start putting my content on YouTube, and you never know how impactful your information or your value could be. So I love doing these live streams. Shout out to Melon for making these happen, because I mean, I want to encourage you guys to leverage video in some form, some capacity. Tonight we're talking about live video, but even if you don't want to do live, get started on recorded video. You never know, a melody might watch your video, and then a melody will cause an impact on other people, and so it's one of those things where it happens so fast. And then if you get a chance to hear the story of your impact, then it just means so much more, and then it keeps you motivated to keep going. But if you never put it out there, no one will ever know, no one will ever find it. So if you guys have questions for Melody, make sure you start to put those in the comments, in the Q&A box, all that good stuff, so we can go through that. Melody, we getting ready to go into some prime shopping season, so you're about to grow an audience even bigger here. So everybody that's getting ready to go on Amazon and do some shopping will probably see you, I'm sure, right?
Yes, they sure will. I've already started planning out over the summer how I was going to stream starting next month. I mean, I felt like it was important to start planning now. And I'm so glad I did that, because that's now eliminating so many, so many last minute things that I would have had to do. Last year, it was kind of like, let me just do it. And I just jumped into it. And then I realized, oh my gosh, the prep that I should have done. So I'm glad I wrote notes so that way I could go back and, fix the streams.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those times where those of us that are using live video this time can definitely get more awareness and get more traction. And those of you all that are not part of our Amazon Live Creators community, make sure you jump in there, because Melody is like the mom of the group. She will keep y'all straight. And when I started the group, she was one of the first people. You guys met Chris earlier. He was on the first guest live stream that I had here, sponsored by Melon. So those are my two additional admins. But the reason Melody even got on that platform, and it's funny, it's so funny now too, because when I told you to get on that platform, I thought that you had experience with live video. So now it's even more funny to me that I told you to get on this platform because I thought it would work for you, and you had no experience with live video at all, and you still just made it work. So but yeah, you
You
guys will see
told me to do
Melody
it.
in that group. Yeah, yeah, you had to do. I just knew it would fit your personality type. So shout out to all the teachers, any mentors,
Mhm.
anybody that works in education. Make sure you guys let me know in the chat. But the personality type is translated through camera, through video. And I kind of think of myself as a teacher of tech, and it's so much easier for me to kind of think about it that way, because I don't feel like I'm forced to do anything outside of my norm. Like, I show people and educate them all day on how to do different stuff. So it's just nothing different to do it through a camera.
Mhm.
And then you get paid to teach too. I mean, like you said,
Yeah.
you're able to do Amazon Live and just focus on being on Amazon, which is just cool. Doing live streaming, which is just cool. Getting companies to sponsor you to show up, that's cool. Then getting free stuff. I remember the joke I made to you last Christmas. It's like, you're gonna have so many toys. You're gonna have more toys than your kids, from all the
Dude,
companies that are just sending you stuff.
I had so many packages coming. At one point, the the Amazon guy was like, "I know this is yours." He opened up the truck, and I want to say there were like 14 packages. for me. It was hilarious. I was just like, I thought I was just getting like one box. He was like, no, these are all for you.
You,
Like
you
they're
make
all for you.
you make my boxes look small, Melody. I got some new microphones and stuff over here from a sponsor. So it's pretty cool that, just showing up live, and that's how they found me. They sent me like they're one of my like ideal like top sponsors I would have wanted to work with. But what's crazy
Mm-hmm.
is they found me doing a
Oh,
live video. So I
yep.
was I'm telling y'all, do live video. Just be in your space and do live video. I was doing a live video. They reached out to me. Hey, we would like you to try this. I'm like, oh my gosh, this company reached out to me. Of course I do. Of course I want to try this. And
Yes.
so then I just sent them an email. I said, hey, I'm going to do more live videos. Can I talk about some of your products that I would love to talk about, right? Because I'm going to talk about this stuff anyway in some capacity. And then
Mm-hmm.
I had two boxes. One showed up yesterday, one showed up today of some pretty cool stuff that I already use. I just use different companies of it. And basically, like everything they sent me is an upgrade. So I put it that way. Everything over there is an upgrade to stuff that I already have. So just by showing up and going live. So
Yes.
Galen, I
And
see you in the chat there. Good to see
oh,
Galen here. She
Galen,
said
hey, how are
I
you,
helped her
girl?
grow her audience from 0 to 7,000 on another platform. Oh, I'm screenshotting that. I'm taking
Yes,
that. I'm screenshotting that comment right there. That's awesome. 0 to 7,000 in 3 months. The
girl, that's
power of
awesome.
social media and digital and just showing up, right? It's getting past that fear or that unknown and just diving in and just going for it. And then you'll be able to like see what's possible. So super proud of Galen. Glad she was able to uh, be able to be here and hang out on the live stream. So Melody, let's talk
Hmm.
some tips. How do we help people grow their audience? Give me some tips that you think would help people that are just getting started off on video, or maybe they've even been doing video for a little while to
Okay.
help grow the audience because you'll get to that point and reach a plateau, but you still got to keep going. How do you continue to grow your audience, get new people to follow you?
Okay. Well, before you have to grow your audience, you have to know your audience. You got to know who you're streaming to. You got to know the things that they like. And it could be anything from, like, for me, crafts, books. Just listen to what they're telling you. Once they start telling you the things that they like, the second thing you can start doing is creating your own Facebook group. You can create a Facebook group, tell them to come, get some ideas going, get a poll going on your group. So that way that'll drive the content that you want, and it'll also drive the content that your audience wants. Then start asking them to share. Do a call to action. Asking is not hard. All you have to do is say, hey, can you please share this with your friends and family? And before you know it, some of their friends and families will start following you. Then you can start really expanding out and have your audience start answering questions that maybe you've heard maybe a few weeks ago or something. You could say, hey, someone asked about XYZ. Can you tell me more about this? Then that's when you start getting the ball rolling. They're interested, they're engaged, and they want to know more. So if you want them to know more, there's got to be a place where you can all come together. And that, I will say, if you can build the value on another platform, not just Facebook, because if you guys remember, Facebook had actually went out a few weeks ago. Have your own platform, a place where they can come, like a YouTube channel, and have them come and support you. So that's one way that's actually several ways that you can get to grow your audience.
Yeah, I love it. The having another place where they can support you because I'm working on
Yes.
opening up. I'm not opening up a mastermind because we're kind of keeping that small, just a few of us in there. But opening up a platform where more people that are on social media can kind of connect and kind of be in a community setting because I think that's huge. Because there are people that follow you. Like one thing about live video, I would tell people all the time is don't think that just because the people didn't show up live doesn't mean they won't come and watch it all. Bernade, she is one of my loyalist supporters. She literally gives a super chat every single Monday, but she can't watch at this specific time. So she'll leave me a super chat on YouTube and say, "Hey, I'm going to come back and watch the replay." So it's your videos will last if you put them on the right platform. They will last longer than that 1 hour block of time that we're going live, right? Somebody will see it later on replay in the future. You can go back and share it. And one of the things I said at the very beginning, you don't have to edit it. So that's also nice too. If you're trying to create content, you don't have to spend hours and hours. And the perfection people like myself gotta, I don't know if y'all saw me earlier. I'm over here adjusting my lighting. I was like, I tried to turn it up. I turned it down. I was moving stuff around. I don't like that light over there. But like, if I got caught up on all of that stuff, this video would not be happening. It's funny, Melody. I read my comments sometimes too. Oh gosh, the comments section. Oh, see, sometimes you get comments like Galen's comments that like make you happy and like energize you, and like, yes, I helped somebody. Then you read other comments, and there's one guy, he leaves a comment on one of my YouTube videos, and he says, "You can't trust a guy with bad audio." And I was like, he took one video and made a whole idea of me based off one video. But what's funny is that in that particular video, I was just trying to get it out for someone else because I didn't want to delay on the video. And so when I go and look at the other comments, other people got value. And like,
Yeah,
he was like one of the people he called out the one part. And I'm just thinking like, well, if everybody else enjoyed the video and got value out of it, it must be good. So when you guys are doing video, in live video or pre-recorded video, don't get stuck on the negative that comes along with it. Let
exactly.
that go, because if you have, like Melody said, if you got people that keep showing up, they want you. They're not so concerned about all these other little
Yeah,
minor things. But the strangers, they don't know you, so they'll pick with you. But like, hey, if I know Melody, I will bypass if the audio sounds a little bad today. Like, hey, Melody, can you check your audio? If she can fix it,
yes,
she can fix it. If she can't, she can't. But we are here to put these crafts together. That's the only reason we're here. We don't care about everything else. So
exactly.
have you had to deal with some negativity, Melody, when you're live
Oh
streaming?
yeah. And I think you know me well enough where I just let that roll off. Like I don't care anymore. When you do this for a significant amount of time, your skin starts to get thick and you don't care. You're like, you know what, if you want to say that, fine. I'll listen to you. I'll see what I need to fix, but I'm not gonna like fixate on it. I
Mm-hmm.
just keep the train moving. We gotta keep it moving. But what I've done to also deal with it, like with trolls or with any kind of things, when you build your audience strong, they will stand up for you, honey. That you won't even have to say anything. You just sit right back, and they will go right after that person. I remember I was doing a stream, like maybe like 3 weeks ago, and someone was coming on saying some really nasty stuff, and everybody in that chat was ripping that person. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I think I should say something before this kid cries. I was like, I just felt so bad for that person, even though he was saying some stuff about me. But what made it really unique was you see the kind of community that you build when you build your audience, and it
Mm-hmm.
just is such a great feeling because they take care of you. They take care of you because they see how much value you've brought to them. They see how much that you've tried to do different things for them. People will plan their day around
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
They'll say,
That
hey, what time are you streaming? I'm streaming at 9 a.m. Okay, good. I'll be able to go to the store before then to shop for my family. I'm like, whoa,
isn't that
I gotta show
crazy?
up.
Like people come on here watch from South Africa and the Philippines. I'm like, hold on, what time
Mhm.
is it over there? Like, yeah, I just wanted to
Yes.
catch you live. So yeah, you're definitely hitting it right on. Live production tips and tools says I just started streaming on YouTube, mainly after I hit 1,300 subscribers. Congratulations! I also have access
Congratulations.
to Amazon
Wow.
Live, but I am scared to commit to it because I have limited time and I'm trying to grow YouTube first. I would highly encourage you to go live on Amazon during this time of the year
Do
if
it.
you can, because this is where so many people are there and shopping. So I would encourage you to go live during this time of the year, and then, but definitely reevaluate what that looks like, because it is a commitment to show up consistently there. But there are some strategies where you don't have to show up as consistently. I know influencer shorts is a big thing right now. I haven't been live on Amazon in probably like 2 weeks myself, so I'm rearing up to get back live again on there. But definitely don't feel that you have to do everything we
Mhm.
talk about, right? Because then you won't get anything done. So, going live on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, like if you're trying to do all of it, you're just going to wear yourself out. Start on one platform and leverage it into other platforms. And that's what I did. Like I grew on YouTube, and when YouTube was growing, it starts to grow organically because my videos still get found. I don't even think I created a YouTube video in like 2 weeks, but I still get followers every single day. I still get emails from brands every single day, or questions in my Instagram and Facebook Messenger every single day. I haven't even been on, like I said, Amazon Live, but I still get the same. I literally responded back to a guy on Instagram today. He probably didn't like my rate, but he was like, I just need an Amazon Live. And I'm like, look, my schedule is limited. So this is my rate. I
Yeah,
understand if we cannot work together, but this is my rate and it's based off my limited time. So I'm not going to, I don't want your products just free products. I don't want that anymore. Like my time is
exactly.
important. So he didn't like the number, but hey, there's other people to work with. So I'm going to use
Yeah.
my time that I can go live that's worth it best for me. So definitely either go live to YouTube, keep growing YouTube. But if you want to jump in Amazon Live, this holiday shopping season is the best time to do it.
Monty's right. Go ahead and move on that right now. And then the great thing is you'll get that brand exposure. The
Yeah.
brands will start watching you. They'll start following you, and then they'll start asking you, "Hey, can you do XYZ amount of streams?" Same thing with Monty. When you get to this point where you've done it so often, you don't mind turning down certain brands if you don't feel like they're providing you with that right number. Like you
Yeah.
don't have to take that $50 stream. You can say, you know what, right now, that's well under my budget. When your budget grows, you can certainly come back. I
Yeah.
always leave it on a good note with brands and tell them when your budget grows, you can certainly come back.
Mhm.
But yeah, definitely when you're doing this whole journey with connecting with your audience, it's also going to help you to increase your self confidence because they're going to start pulling things from you that they want that you have to work on too. So
Yeah.
that's another reason why I love doing Amazon Live.
Yeah, that's the truth. Live production tips and tools says, what's the minimum time would you allocate to Amazon Live for someone who doesn't have much time to be able to build an audience without burning out? I'll let you answer that one first,
Mm-hmm.
Melanie.
I would start off with doing one live a week. Just do one live a week. You can start with 30 minutes because you have to start building up your comfort level to stream for that long. When I started with 30 minutes. And for me, I felt like it went by so quickly because I was so into what I was doing with the audience. But when you first start off your first stream, it may be a little bit different for you, but 30 minutes at the minimum on Amazon you can do. And then when you work up, you feel comfortable with 30 minutes, work up to adding an additional 30 minutes. Make it an hour stream. Tell them
Mhm.
you'll be on for an hour. And then do that for a few weeks, and then you can go farther, go up in the time. It just
Yeah.
depends too, because if your audience keeps asking you questions, that 30 minutes is going to fly by so fast, especially if you're doing live production tips. People are going to ask you questions.
Yeah, yeah. Anything that causes people to ask questions helps accelerate the time, because I'm
Yes.
telling you guys, it's a different when I go live. It's a difference when I go live by myself to do this show versus when I have a guest on. It seems like the time just goes a lot faster because you're not talking the whole time, and you're not having to like refer to notes or anything like that. And if people are asking you questions, then it gives you an opportunity to just answer the question. So yeah, I love that tip. Start with 30, because ultimately you do want to get to an hour per live stream. That's kind of idea, because you want to make some money. You want to make some revenue, real talk. So the longer
Mhm.
you stream, the more you can potentially earn. But yeah, like Melody said, start with one time a week. Just find one day that you can be consistent with and just go that one time a week and see if it opens up other doors and avenues for you. Because if you go live that one time a week and the right person or the right company sees you, it may be worth your time to show up more. And that's how it works for me. Like I'm not even consistent on that platform. And companies, it's like they randomly see me at the time I'm going live. So I'm like, I ain't been live for 2 weeks. Y'all just saw me. And then you want to do something together and collaborate. So yeah, one time a week go live. And because even with YouTube or even with Amazon Live, you can still figure out a way to parlay that over to YouTube too.
Yes.
Especially if it's a brand collaboration, because it'll allow you to fulfill a YouTube, one time a week. And then you can say, hey, well, I want to create a YouTube video around this thing that aligns with your YouTube or your Amazon channel, and then do the same thing on YouTube. So you can kind of, play both of them together. Follow-up question: do you recommend using the same branding as your YouTube channel? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Be
I want them to
consistent.
know. I want them to know Monte Weaver on YouTube and Monte Weaver on Amazon, especially for sponsorships and brand deals. Not so much to sell products on Amazon, because it's Amazon is a product base for the products that are on Amazon. But I'm talking like Monte Weaver courses or Monte Weaver summits or Monte Weaver webinar. Like, I'm not trying to sell any of that, but I want people to know my same branding. If they look for me on Amazon, they can find me on YouTube and vice versa. So, Melody, you had the same on that too?
Yes. I would recommend always making sure your branding is consistent across every platform that you're on, because you don't want to be confused with someone else.
Yeah.
And then you'll be driving your traffic to someone else's channel. You want them to be able to find you easily, so that way they can find your content, they can follow you, and then they can engage with you, and then you can add them as part of your audience. So always have the same branding, same picture, same background, same graphics. You want that consistent across all. And that's including with brands that want to reach out to you, because for them, it shows you that you're consistent. It shows that, oh, this person knows exactly what it is that they want and how to execute on it. They start seeing different things, like you're branded over here like with blue and red, and then you're branded over here with like green and yellow. They're gonna be like, this person doesn't know how to really create their brand, and then they may not reach out. So yeah, make sure you're always consistent across all platforms.
Yeah. I love the next question you have too, because I was going to answer it in my mind, but I was like, no, I'll hold off on it. And then you put it in the chat. Do I have to buy products to do demos with every time I go live? I would recommend, if you're only going live once a week, that you just do the same live stream every single week. So whatever products you have, just duplicate your stream every single week. It's one less thing for you to even think about, because you
Yeah.
don't want to invest money just to go live. Like, it's defeat the purpose. Like, you don't, unless you really want that product, like you have to know your numbers at any business. But I would just use the same products and go live, because it's only once a week. So the chances of the same group people finding you once a week are going to be slow until you build the audience. Once you start to build the audience and you start to see the same people in your live stream, then you'll need to start to switch it up, because they don't want to keep seeing the same things over and over and over again. So definitely don't go out and just buy a whole bunch of stuff until you're committed to showing up on a regular basis. But yeah, use what you have. Don't go out and buy a whole bunch of stuff just to go live on Amazon.
It's one thing if you're streaming hours and it's daily like the way I'm doing, then yeah, I could see why you might need to pick some stuff up. But if you're only doing it once a week, just use what you have at home, or ask a friend if they have a product that you're familiar with, and just say, hey, can I borrow this for like an hour?
I have no idea
And
why you're
give it
coming.
back.
Yeah, old school. Can I borrow some flour real quick?
Yeah, that's all.
Promise you, I will give you the whole flour back. I just need to get this stream done real quick. Can I borrow a
Yes.
pan real quick while I'm at it? I need to show them this frying pan real quick so I can do this live stream. I'll give it right
But
to you. 30 minutes
that
later, I give back.
platform is just so amazing. I mean, it's not only gone to where I'm doing crafts now, but now I'm doing cooking segments
Yeah.
because people want to see what it is that, what are you doing? They want to know how you live your life on this platform. So now I'm doing Thanksgiving with me on Amazon Live. I'm making my turkey. I'm making my sweet potato casserole. I'm making everything.
Yeah, if you have a good space where you just have a lot of stuff in one area, those are the best places to go live because you don't have to think about a whole lot before you go live. Like I got to gather like 40 items together before I go live. Like in a kitchen, you have all kinds of stuff in our kitchens, right? And I'm when I go live here in the office, I'm like, I have so much stuff right here. I have my desk, I have a switcher, I have a microphone, I have cables, I have
Mm-hmm.
post-it notes, I have a camera, I have a light, I have a chair, I have a monitor, I have books. I have a whole bunch of books right down there. I have a standing mat. I have my vitamin water, Melody. I've got it again.
Oh, you still got that vitamin water.
I, I have notepads. I have pens. I have a mouse and a this thing and computer and glasses and over there I've got more cameras and shirts and iPhone and iPad case. Like you can get to 40 real quick if you're in one of your spaces in your house.
Yes.
Don't go to your basement. If y'all go to your basement, you'll probably be on Amazon Live every single day trying to get through
Listen,
stuff.
don't forget, you use your Sharpies, use your chapstick. Look, you got your batteries. Use all of these things that you already have. Don't go out and buy a whole lot of stuff that you don't need right now. Just use what you got. That's
Yeah,
what I tell beginners all the time. And then I also tell them, like I said before, borrow. If you
yeah,
know that product, borrow it.
yeah. We did Amazon Shorts, Melody, and Amazon Shorts is one of my best videos as Twizzlers, the candy Twizzlers. So I just did it on like anything we have that can be sold on Amazon. Yeah, don't go and buy nothing. That's the short of what we're trying to tell you. Don't go buy nothing.
Now,
Uh,
I'm going to tell you one of my best videos, and you're going to laugh. I have this foot pad that I use, and I shot it with my phone, and I did this. And that's one of my best performing videos. And the cell phone, it looks really like choppy. And I was just like, I just want to try this out and see if I could do this on my phone. Dude, that's like one of the best performing videos.
wow. You'd be shocked and amazed. Like, cause I remember the first time I started doing batteries, I was trying to do one of my lights and show people. I was like, oh, I need to start putting batteries in my live stream. I was like, cause you need this, and you just forget about the little things that people
Yeah.
need, and they're already like it's so accessible to you. So yeah, um,
Live production is asking a question. Do you
yeah,
still have to pick a niche, right? Makes it easier if you have a niche, but you can still go ahead and stream on Amazon Live. Like, don't let that
mhm,
stop you. Just try to figure out what it is that you want and listen carefully to your audience. When you're listening to your audience, they're going to tell you exactly what it is they want.
yeah, because the niche on Amazon is way different from YouTube. Because YouTube is all about search and getting found in search and growing that subscriber base because they know you for that thing. But on Amazon, there's no search function per se. It's okay. I see a video, I see a topic that I like. I'm going to watch it based on the topic of that video. So, because it's a newer platform, there's still a long way for it to go, but you definitely don't feel like you have to niche down. So, like you said, Melody, you talking about crafts, but for Thanksgiving, you're going to be in the kitchen. So it's
Yeah,
two totally different things, but they're showing up for Melody. And some
yeah,
people are just showing up because they want to see who this Thanksgiving kitchen thing. Like they have no idea and they just want to see what the subject matter is behind the Thanksgiving thing and not having any preconceived notions of like what else she does already. So I just happen to like just stay in this area all the time. So always talk about this stuff, but I could easily like if I want to go, well, not now because it's cold. If I want to go in the backyard and start talking about, tents and chairs and fire pits and all that kind of stuff, I could easily go and do that. I just choose not to because all my
hmm
stuff is up here and I just don't, I'm lazy and I don't feel like moving stuff. So definitely don't feel like you have to niche down on Amazon. But if you're talking about certain things, don't be surprised if a brand will reach out to you based off what you're talking about. So if it doesn't align with what you really want to talk about on a regular basis, um, you may turn it down, or you may keep going, and that might be your motivation to continue on Amazon Live. So that's what I was making that point at the beginning. The live video aspect can open up so many doors where you may not think this is what you may not want to talk about a certain product all the time, but if a company says, hey, we're going to pay you to talk about it, and it's not your niche, you may show up and talk about it. I have a toy truck right over my I don't talk about toys. Melody's the one that talks about toys all the time. But they said, we'll pay you to talk about the truck on Amazon. Okay, I can do that.
Exactly. I got this monster dinosaur robot that I absolutely love. And I streamed for them last year, and I came back to them and I said, hey, what are your thoughts on doing Amazon Live this year? And they didn't have any ideas. They were just going to let that go. I said, if you're not doing Amazon Live, you're not doing anything. I said, come on, we got to do this. Let's start the ball rolling now. We need to plan.
Yeah.
And I got my brand deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So many ways to do this video
So many ways.
Melody, I appreciate you for hanging out with me today.
Thank you, sir.
Talking about growing your audience. I hope you guys got some value out of today. Well, I know you did. Before we go, let me shout out MelonApp. If you guys have not checked out their platform, what are you waiting on? MelonApp.live, live streaming platform. That's what I'm using to go live. I'm going to have to switch up my background next week. I think I used this background 2 times in a row.
I
So
love this background.
I do too. So that's why I don't want to switch it up, but I need to show people what else that this thing can do, because it's a powerful tool. So you guys make sure you check that out. MelonApp.live. Get started for free. Get started practicing with your live streams, and be able to show. I want you guys to practice and then tell me what you guys are live streaming. That's what we're going to get to. JP, I see you over there in the chat. Good to see you, brother. Melody, before you go, any last words on where people can find you, what you got going on, all that good stuff?
You can, of course, find me on Instagram at loveliteracy01, or you can also go to my webpage, melodymj.com, and on there you'll see free webinar. I'm actually doing a free webinar coming up, and I'm going to tell you 5 ways that you can make money online, and I'm going to tell you also a little bonus on how to get started on Amazon Live. So make sure you're signing up. You'll see it on that menu, webinar.
Awesome. So I added Melody's website to the chat on Facebook and YouTube. You guys make sure you go get that checked out. Like I said, y'all, at the beginning, she said she just got started live streaming, over 300 lives, and working with brands and sponsors all within like a one time frame. We didn't even get into how many brands and sponsors, y'all, but it's been over 100. So
yes,
yeah, it's been over 100 in 1 year. So she knows what she's doing.
Counting.
Yeah, she stopped counting. She picked it up real fast, and so she's going to help you guys out do that. Melody, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you, everyone on Facebook for hanging out. Thank you, everybody, for YouTube for hanging out. We're going to be back again next week. Mark your calendar, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bring a friend, and I look forward to seeing you guys then. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.